Hello everyone, this is the Nidici XF3 frame, and I've built it up featuring the iForce 1606 4100 kV motors, Gem Fan 3052 prop, F4 flight controller with an OSD, 25 amp 4-in-1 ESC, Amway VTX, an old Furious FPV circular polarized antenna, and a generic CCD camera with a 2.3mm lens. So I'm going to take like 2 minutes here. I'm going to try to sum this up. The field of view on this is just too narrow. It is terrible narrow. You can see how far the camera's set back. I tried using 2 different sets of 3D prints to mount the camera off the posts. It didn't work. About the only alternative to actually getting a better view for your FPV is to be mounting the camera out here in front of the nose, and that is just a terrible idea. So I think this frame has one particular flaw, and I almost didn't fly it after I actually did some initial bench testing. But I can see if you're someone who wants extreme camera protection, this has got it. Because that camera is not exposed at all, and you're going to have to smoke and break that entire top stack to get to it. So in the case, if you're one of those people, this might be the frame for you. There's been some discussion that we had about Nidici, whether they're a cloner or if they're just a rebrander or what they are. A couple of you have commented. Some say they're Amazon sellers. Some say that they are cloners of the iFlight stuff. I think they're an Amazon seller because they sent me 2 sets of motors. The first set were 1106s. I was like, those are way too small. Those will never fly. And then the second time around, they sent me these 1606s. So, of course, we went to the big, beefy motors. And I am excited to try out this geometry and frame some more. And so I got the cloned Martian 4 frame. I could say cloned. I don't even know. Because isn't this a copy of the Alien from ImpulseRC? I think so. I'm not certain that ImpulseRC ever made a frame that was micro-sized of that Alien frame. So maybe it's not just a clone. Maybe it's just a size reduction. Maybe it went on a weight loss. I don't know. Anyways, so we got another one. I think it will work out a lot better because, as you can see here on the front side, where the camera is going to be quite a bit wider on the Martian frame. So if you're interested in this frame, here's a little look at the carbon fiber printing. Get a quick peek. I'll go through all the measurements and stuff when I do a frame review, if I do a frame review, and then we can compare the 2 frames, and then I'll put all the electronics on the Martian, and I'll take that for a fly. But let's go ahead and take a look for this. It flies pretty interesting, so let's take a look.
Right off the bat, we can see that that field of view is as narrow as I described. I don't know if you had the feeling that it was going to be as narrow as you see in front of you, but so obviously I'm not going to be taking some of the same risks or flight path that I might normally because of that lack of view. I also have to apologize for some harsh flashing that I'm not certain it's coming from that VTX, that Amway VTX, or if it's that old Furious FPV antenna that's giving me fits there. So you'll notice some harsh flashing from time to time. But here I'm a little bit deeper into the flight, and here in a minute I'm gonna give you probably what you're looking for. There we go. Overshot it just a touch, but not bad. That's probably the best thing to come out of this review is the motors. I was a little bit surprised with a rig that comes in at this weight that it actually has the upward thrust, and we have a flight time that comes in around 2 minutes and 35 seconds, or I think it's 2:45 maybe. But so I'm flying it around and I'm doing what I can, but you can tell I kind of approach things from a direct angle. I don't really get in close where I have to see around what I'm doing. I really overshot it there. But we'll do that a couple more times here as we go through the flight. That's kind of the thing I enjoyed the most. Right there. Let's see where that goes. Oh, there we go. That's about where I want to be. But that's the highlight of this video, at least for me, is those 1606 motors, those iFlight motors. And I'll put links to those down in the description. And I don't want to discourage anybody from getting this frame necessarily, because again, if you are someone who is looking for extreme camera protection, this might be a frame you're interested in. I don't know how many of you there might be that are looking for this extreme camera protection, but maybe somebody's out there. Because I was very tempted just to say, oh, you should never buy this. It's just terrible. Because it's not terrible. It's just the field of view is way too narrow for me. It does feel like you're flying in a, oh, I can't remember the name of those Star Wars or Starfighters. I think it's kind of a starfighter. You could put an overlay on there, and that would be kind of fun and interesting. And you've actually got a little bit of that, you know, view of being in the cockpit already kind of built in. And maybe that's another thing that people like, is that cockpit view. maybe? I don't know. I guess I'm really searching here for something to enjoy about it, but you get to make your own decisions about what you like or not. You can see we've got the low battery warning. We're at 2 minutes and 30 some odd seconds, so not a terrible flight. I am using a China Hobby Line 650 4S battery on that. And if you have any comments, questions, suggestions, or otherwise, please leave those in the section down below. I appreciate your time. And thanks for watching.